Airbnbs have become much more like hotels than they have vacation rental properties. And what I mean by this is over the last couple of years, big hospitality companies have come in and they've changed a lot of these properties into like hotels, right? And then furthermore, guests expect a lot more out of Airbnbs at this point, and they expect it to almost be like hotel-like. This isn't, the peer between 2019 and 2022, or the mom and pop businesses that were started in 2012, 2013. These are like, people expect like real accommodation. So Mill's with me today. Mill manages a lot of my properties and deals with a lot of Airbnb complaints, so he could speak to some of this as well.
Yeah, so piggyback off of their mom and pop shops, Airbnb, some people may not know, actually stands for Air, Bed, and Breakfast. And that comes from the actual owners of Airbnb renting out their air mattresses for some of their employees back when they were having an event. So that's where it stems from. So that's the original concept. You go stay at John and Sally's house in one of their extra spare bedrooms for the weekend while you're out of town. But now it's actually become like just a full-on experience where your property has to have a niche or has to be unique in order for somebody's to catch somebody's eyes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like to that point, over the last 2 years, forget about catch your eyes. Over the last 2 years, Airbnb has delisted over 200,000 properties that they had too many complaints about, or they felt didn't meet standards of Airbnb. So now actually when people are complaining, they're taking them off. And we see it too with, there's an algorithm on Airbnb now. And there's a couple of things you should be aware of. And one of the biggest things is becoming a guest favorite on Airbnb. We have a few properties that are guest favorites. If you do that, you show up more. So the algorithm's even kind of playing to that place of good reviews.
And speaking on the algorithm, Airbnb has actually changed it. When you go on their homepage, it's not even just like houses. At this point, it's experiences are the first thing that pops up.
That's right.
So they're trying to focus on like staying at celebrity houses or unique places. So that's why once you start searching for a home to stay at, yours has to pop out on the page, which is why you had to really focus on that, because if you're on page 10, it's less than likely you're going to get booked.
Yeah. Yes. Think of a Google search. If you're on page 10 of Google, and you search, you're probably not getting found. Where are you seeing most complaints or concerns or pushback in houses?
Basically, like how you said, they want the hotel experience. So they want their AC to work. They want all the appliances to be brand new. They want all of basically like the basics, like your mattress covers. They want it to be top of the line. If you have a washer and dryer, they expect it to be working to top shape. And if there is any issue, just like hotels, they want it to be solved at that moment immediately.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they are spending their hard-earned money, and you're there to give them a good experience.
Yeah. If they message you that there's an issue, they're not telling you for you to fix that issue when they check out. If they message you during the process that there's an issue, which you hope they do, because if they don't, then they're going to leave it in the review afterwards if they had a bad experience. But if they message you that, hey, I saw a snake, or there's bugs, or the air conditioner's not really getting as cold as I like, they want it fixed within 24 hours, just like they would in a hotel. So if you don't want to have a ton of emergency services bills, or you're not local and you can't fix things locally, you better have somebody on staff that can really be a handyman and go fix that stuff, because that stuff has to be fixed this day. If you're looking to buy a property because, hey, I want to buy a vacation home and I think I'm going to Airbnb it, you better be ready to become a hospitality host and really understand what you have to provide for these people, because if you don't, you're going to lose your income on it very, very quickly, maybe even all your income.
Yeah, and same how hotels, they go and clean the rooms every day. They have staff on site, piggybacking off of your maintenance people. You basically have to have somebody that's available at all times. And you basically have to do maintenance on the property even when nobody's there, just to make sure that everything's running correctly.
Yeah, that may be the most important thing. Checking the property in between stays is important. And if you have good cleaners, if you have somebody, even if you have a property manager, if they do a good job of kind of going through the house, my experience with that is that when we bring in new maintenance people, they go over the house with a fine-tooth comb and say, hey, all the stuff needs to be repaired, and they fall off kind of over time, and a lot less of that stuff. So even that, like if you have good people, it's either you may have to overpay them, or you may have to have backup people no matter what, because even with having that many people, a lot of this stuff has a length of time that it's good for, and then it kind of isn't good anymore for cleaners. And we have to, some of our properties, we never switch out the cleaners, but some of our properties we have to switch multiple times a year, because there's complaints. And again, people check into a Airbnb. It needs to be clean like a hotel is clean, or they're not going to be happy. Down to the toilet paper being folded a certain way and the sheets being folded a certain way. Like, these are all real things if you plan on getting anything of a significant price daily for your property.
Yeah, and Ralph, as you notice, you can have 100 reviews, 5 stars, great. But if there's that one bad review, it brings doubt into anybody that's looking at the house, and that might be a false review. Who knows? Maybe they just didn't have a good experience at your home, which everybody is entitled to. But if you're looking yourself at somewhere to stay at, and you see that one review, are you like, this person may be telling the truth?
Yeah.
Like, maybe like all these other reviews, who knows? So that's why you just have to be on top of everything and try to give the guests the best experience that you possibly can.
Yeah, and as we wrap this up, I'm going to give you guys a tip that I think is really, really helpful that I've learned over the years. If somebody starts negotiating the price for your Airbnb before they even check in, you should be very, very cautious about renting to that person. A lot of times when they're negotiating up front, they're unhappy. They may end up renting the place anyway, and they're unhappy about what they're paying if you didn't give them a discount. Those people tend to check into the property, find something that's wrong with the property, and try to get a discount later on. So there's a little bit of a tip for you guys to look out for. Hope this was helpful. We'll get back to you guys in the future with kind of more tips along property management and Airbnb. Mill's great for that. We appreciate you checking with us today, and check out homequalified.com.